So let's get into this week's headlines in our first segment. Yay. And welcome Jessica Napoli from TVInsider and Sandra Garcia Lowery, the founder and owner of Encounter Marketing and PR. Welcome.
Hello.
You're so
ladies. Yes.
All right, so let's start with the headline that's been buzzing this week. Actor Jeffrey Owens, a former Cosby Show star, was captured working at Trader Joe's. That went viral. Jessica, what are your thoughts on that when you saw that?
I thought it was surprising that somebody actually snapped a photo of him. And then the headlines that came out from that were negative. And a lot of people on Twitter, on social media, fought back. And Jeffrey spoke out this week on a bunch of morning shows about how that affected him and his outlook on his position and acting and working between jobs.
Yeah. Right. I think she definitely I don't think she meant any harm by taking the photo. She was probably trying to share with her girlfriend, like, hey, is that so-and-so from the Cosby? But something good did come out of it because he just accepted a job offer by Tyler Perry.
Right.
So that's great.
It was a blessing in disguise. What do you think, Allie?
Well, I think it speaks to the fact that we all think success is this like linear thing and that there's not, stops and bumps along the way. And I just really commend him for not thinking he's above, any kind of work. I think too many of us feel like, well, I already did this. Right. I can never go back to doing that. When, life's more complicated than that and you do what you got to do.
Yeah. He needed the flexibility.
Absolutely. And working actors, I mean, you see actors all the time. They're waiting tables, they're teaching, they do what they have to do. And he says with dignity he works and to take care of his family. So I applaud him. Go, Jeffrey.
And Trader Joe's also looks like a really fun place to work. You ever go, everybody's so happy. They're like joking around.
It's a positive work environment.
At lunch and dinner every day.
Yes. That is a major plus. Free lunch and dinner.
There you go.
Exactly.
So let's get to our next headline. ABC recently announced its pick for The Bachelor.
Ooh.
I'm really excited about this because I watched the season of The Bachelorette and I saw Colin, who's the new Bachelor, interact with women, and then he wasn't selected. I was like, no, Colin. But I'm really excited to see his journey on The Bachelor because when he was on The Bachelorette, he was very adamant and spoke out about his virginity on the show. So it'll be interesting to see his interactions with women. Jessica, what do you think about Colin as the new Bachelor?
I think he is a surprising choice. A lot of people were upset that it wasn't Jason or Blake because he was the runner-up. But I think he's going to bring new energy to the show, and I think there's going to be a conversation, obviously there's going to be a conversation around his virginity and how he interacts with women and kind of trying to create more relationships than just something that's physical. And I guess we'll see what happens in fantasy suites when they supposedly,
that should be interesting.
Do something overnight. So I think it's going to be interesting, and I hope that they have some good girls on the show that are open to the fact that they might be more experienced than him.
Right. I am not a big Bachelor fanatic, but I think it's good to have kind of a different perspective and a different image of a man on a show like that.
Good. Thank you for that. That's a good point, Sandra.
Yes. Those brackets, I'm going to be tuning in on those. Well, our next headline is the CurvyCon, which started yesterday. Sandra, we were just talking about this before we went live. It's a 3-day event that brings together plus-size fashionistas and brands. It's shopping events, it's panels. It's really, really exciting. And it's happening during New York Fashion Week.
Which is happening now. And Allie, you participated in CurvyCon last year.
Yeah, so I know the founders very well. Cece Elisa and Chastity Garner, and they are brilliant women, and it's just a really fun event. It really is. I think a lot of plus size women don't get treated the same red carpet vibe that Fashion Week has, so it's really exciting to see that, and you guys should definitely check it out.
But I have a question for you, Allie. Is it appropriate to say plus size or curvy? Like curvy, delicious?
That's a great question.
Right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have mixed feelings on it. Some people say I want to just be called a model and not a plus size model, or I want to just be called a blogger or a fashionista, not a plus size fashionista. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it myself. But I would never tell someone how they like to be referred to and they like to be spoken about. So I think that's everyone's preference. Right. But the point is there are so many amazing curvy fashionistas out there looking fabulous.
And so, Sandra, what are your thoughts about diversity on runways?
It's important. And I think it's so important. And I also know that a client of mine, Marie Jean Baptiste, who is the founder of Rue 107, was here earlier today, and she has a booth at CurvyCon. It's important to have representation, I think, of, all of the things that make us beautiful. And, whatever size and, whatever degree of those curves are, it's all beautiful. So it needs to be showcased.
Right. What about you, Jessica? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's so great because it's important for young people, men and women, boys and girls, to realize that there are many people out there in the world, different spectrum, different shapes and sizes, and that they should all be represented so that we hopefully see something or someone like ourselves on TV to inspire us in different ways than just a typical stereotype.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Love
Let's
that.
get to our next headline, one that I'm especially excited about. BET Black Girls Rock airs this Sunday on BET. I had the honor of attending the taping of the award show 2 weeks ago, and also got some time to chat with some celebrities on the red carpet. Let's take a look at this clip. I am so honored to stand here with the founder of the Me Too movement, Tarana Burke, who is living a very bold life in her walk. Tarana, what is your definition of bold?
I think it's about courage. Being bold takes a lot of courage. And sometimes you are bold even when you don't have courage.
And obviously the Me Too movement is a very bold movement. You're encouraging women to speak up and be bold in their conversation.
Absolutely. We encourage women. We encourage all people to speak up and talk about their situation. But also we encourage people to support the movement and support the work so that we don't have to have more people saying Me Too.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
what an amazing interview.
She was so dynamic. Every time I meet with Tarana, she is so dynamic, so empowering, so inspiring.
Yeah. What were some of the standout moments? I mean, obviously Tarana is, peak, but
Right. So during the taping, I will say this. Fantasia starts the show off with a rousing tribute to Aretha Franklin. And we were all on our feet for like 5 minutes. So that was one of the standout moments. Also, Sierra presented an award to Janet Jackson. So it's like amazing seeing these two powerhouse women connecting on stage. But there are so many amazing surprises. So be sure to tune in this Sunday to BET Black Girls Rock. Yeah.
awesome.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Jessica and Sandra.
Thank you, ladies. This was fun.
I'm so glad you made it.
We sipped the tea, we got it all.
We did.